Wonderful insights. Thank you, Mustafa. And now, moving further, newer technologies are emerging and gaining increasing adaptability across various strata of the society, while users look forward to the ultimate innovations, which can be both seamless, easy to use, and cost effective. Keeping in mind of this circumstance, we move on to our next discussion, emerging technologies in strengthening the business vision of CPSCs. The session will be holistic discussion among business trend makers who would elaborate on their viewpoints about how businesses are being realigned across central public sector enterprises, leveraging emerging technologies. As I call upon our next panelist, I welcome Shri Prem Kumar Jha, Chief General Manager, C&IT Steel Authority of India Limited, Ms. Nitur Narang, Senior General Manager, MIS, Container Corporation of India Limited, Shri Rajiv Agrawal, Head Corporate Quality, Customer Service and Site Safety, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, Shri Sudesh VC, Group General Manager, IT, IRCTC Limited, Shri Ajay Gupta, Group General Manager, IT, Dedicated Freight Corridor Corporation of India Limited, Shri Chandra Kishore Prasad, Senior Professor and Head IT, IRISET, Shri Mustafa Launi, Shri Senior Vice President, Middle East, Africa and Greater India Uptime Institute. The session will be moderated by Shri Ashish Gangrade, Partner, Government and Public Sector Advisory, BDO India. I leave here to drive the panel to Ashish. Over to you, Ashish.
Thanks a lot, Ragini. And thank you for wonderful introduction to the esteemed panelists. With this, I would like to once again thanks to the organizers, especially for giving me this opportunity to moderate this panel of esteemed speakers on today's session. In fact, the theme of which is focused towards role of emerging technologies in strengthening the business vision for central public sector undertakings. As we all know, that innovative emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, drones, blockchain, 3D printing, Internet of Things, and so on, have started playing an important role in overall digital transformation journey for any business organization. And in fact, in many instances, it has created wider social benefits and also have brought profitable growth for many organizations. And I believe in view of the same, in fact, in today's session, this panel will focus on the role of emerging technologies in realizing this long-term vision of central public sector undertakings across different sectors. In fact, among the panel, we have IT experts from organizations in diverse sectors, which are including steel manufacturing, aerospace and defense, telecommunication and networking, logistics, signal engineering, and we have one of the panelists who in fact represents the data center standards and certification industry as well. So I'm sure through this panel, in fact, the audience would get some great experiential insights and point of views from the panelists towards, in fact, the role of emerging technologies, how, in fact, they can shape up the overall business vision and how the organizations can look towards adopting them in next 3 to 5 years, including various challenges and experiences, and how, in fact, that still remain aligned with larger vision and business goals of the organizations. So without taking much time, in fact, I would like to invite Shri Prem Kumar Jha, who is the Chief General Manager, Steel Authority of India Limited, to share his view on what are his views. In fact, he thinks about how these technologies are helping in alignment or in aligning the overall vision of the organization. And specifically, maybe he would like to share more insights towards the sector which he belongs to. So with this, I would request Mr. Jha to share his experiential insights. Over to you, Mr. Jha, please.
Thank you, Ashish. It is a pleasure to be here with alongside esteemed panelists. I think what you introduced, that I am from steel manufacturer side. Basically, steel making is a very complicated scenario where you not only make steel, you make a lot of other things also as well. Like we are using power, making power for our own consumption. We are so we are power producer as well. We are making chemicals because that is our byproduct, and lot many other things. And we have got our own minds. So it's basically industry of industry. And of course, once you have such a complicated scenario where you have to manage a huge number of equipments and resources, and to say we have got number of units in sale like Vilai, Bokaro, Rourkela, Durgapur, different units, and the CMO now as well. So to manage all these resources and to be competitive with your peers in the industry is a big challenge. And definitely the new age of Industry 4.0 or this modern technology is basically coming to rescue. And a lot of initiatives are being taken to take care of our business in taking this as a helping hand. So the latest to get into this use of this technology again is a challenge, because we have got very old equipments of maybe 50s and 60s technology, and then the latest one as well. So having the sensor and having OT and IT convergence is again challenge. But then you have to use those things to get the competitive advantage, not only in business, but also for the health of your equipment, your own people's safety and security. So all these concerns are being addressed, and a lot of initiatives are being taken with the help of academia. We are interacting with IITs, we are interacting with NITs, and then we have a lot of startups we are contacting, majority working on a lot of things: video analytics, image analytics, data analytics, and machine learning, and a number of other initiatives, that is digital transformation initiatives, are being taken to get the higher transparency, better control, better upkeep of equipments. So as we have been talking about the volume of equipments, that definitely this modern technology is coming to as a big help for predictive, preventive, and corrective maintenance. So we are working with the temperature range of to the tune of 1700 Celsius. So, and then a lot of dust, heat, other things that comes on the way. So to take up environment as well, to control all those things, we are using a lot of initiatives to have a regulation, have to have early alerts, and working on them. And as you know, the way we are going forward, the dependence on human has to be reduced, so that you can have a higher productivity and also better care of equipment. A lot of sensors and other things are being added, and your dashboards, intelligent dashboards, are being used to have a easy control and alerts on mobile, or your digital platforms. So in terms of business, again, like you have you have to manage a lot of materials. So material management, having lower inventory, less the lead time for procurement. All those, again, they are also need a lot of intelligent inputs, and to get the best customers, vendors, and customers as well. So these are big challenges, and we are using our technology. And this is true for not only for the steel sector, this is for globally for all PSUs. The government is also coming up with a lot of initiatives. Latest being that the government wants that the chips to be manufactured in India itself. So the chip shortage is creating a lot of problem for getting a lot of equipments here. So going forward, definitely, I think we are all moving in the same direction, and we have to collaborate and move ahead for the mutual benefits. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jha, for your input and sharing relevant experiences. In fact, I think the pointers which you have mentioned is like managing operations in the industry of industries is a very complicated process, and integrated working is something which is very, very important. And in fact, convergence with old equipment vis-a-vis the new equipment, safety and security, human resources, and I think these are the key important areas which becomes very important for consideration. Now, our next speaker, Ms. Ritu Narang, who is the Senior General Manager Container Corporation of India Limited. Ms. Narang, I would like to request if you can share some views on how do you think the business transformation to, in fact, digital mode is taking place, covering the various aspects of business reengineering, process simplification, workflow automation in synchronism with the advanced technological innovations and, in fact, the key challenges which you foresee in adoption of these aspects in coming 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for giving the opportunity to speak on the Stream platform and expressing my views on this. I know, like, whenever we talk about business transformation and IT, that this comes to the mind that IT has changed the business workflow totally and contributed significantly by various of process standardization, automations, increasing transparency, and ultimately for the ease of doing business and customer value addition. These are the most important part whenever we think of any IT implementation. Imagine a multi-logistic company like Concord, wherein the sole information was from the human input, from entering a container number to manual invoicing and complete process for totally manual. The whole process has been now digitalized using various IT systems like web-based system, RFID-based system, QR code-based system, chatbots, and mobile applications, wherein now you can track even single container or a cargo, and there's a complete cargo visibility to all stakeholders. By the implementation of AI systems for automatic generation of the train loading plan, stack planning, rake forecasting, to high-end ERP systems for financial accounting, auto invoicing, auto payments, e-measurements, and capturing all engineering-related activities. And also to increase the employee satisfaction by implementation of the latest edge-cutting technology and implementation of latest HRMS systems. We've also implemented the enterprise-based dashboard system, which is integrated with advanced data analytics for both predictive and descriptive analysis for the management, to take business decisions and to provide complete transparent information to all stakeholders. Through IT, we have created a single platform for both service providers and all stakeholders. All customers like exporter, importer, or any of the CHA, or they can book their containers and avail all services, and they can pay online through web-based and mobile-based systems. We have also introduced first mile, last mile mobile application through which the customer can have a facility of door-to-door pickup and delivery services of the container. We have also implemented in the company for e-contractor billing flag systems, which we have integrated with all the contracts of the terminal operations, wherein all equipments and services are mapped through IT systems. The manual inputs have been minimized, and online details are being captured through various interfaces like handle terminals, mobile scanners, web-based systems for job order creations and compliances. This ultimately leads to the creation of the automatic work done statements, which enables the contractor to submit their bills online and also ensure the payments to be given to the contractors in the stipulated times. And now we are targeting towards for the same on the blockchain. With the advent of this AI, the fingertips jobs are going to be enhanced to the totally automatic process in nanoseconds. And blockchain computing will take the financials to another level of real-time payment realization, will increase productivity, and will also lead to the efficient working and elimination of the complete auditing requirement. In short, we can say that IT has not only created the backbone for the company, but has also entered in the neural system of the business.
Thank you, Ms. Narang. I think business process automation is the key, is the message which I believe Ms. Narang has spoken about, which not only improves the business efficiencies, but also probably help in profit of maximization by giving more decision power, or I would say more insights to the management, so that in terms of the dashboards and in terms of various tools, efficient tools, management tools, which actually enables them in overall efficient working. Thank you so much, Narang, for your insights. Now, next on the panel, I would like to invite Shri Rajiv Agrawal, who is the head of corporate quality and customer service and flight safety at Hindustan Aeronautics, to share his views and experiences, towards especially on innovation using emerging technologies in related to the sector Hindustan Aeronautics Limited is involved in, specifically in the aerospace and defense sector, and the kind of efficiencies such technologies are bringing in helping the overall growth and achieving the better results. Over to you, Mr. Agrawal.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I am thankful to the organizers to invite me. So a little bit about the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. As you all may be aware that it is a PSU which is handling into the fighter aircrafts and helicopters manufacture, and then and also to some extent the export of these products. So the company is currently 40th ranked all across the world in the aerospace and defense, and 9th all across the world in terms of making the indigenous platforms. So we are having currently 6 indigenous products. Why I am telling all these things, not for any sales pitch, but because none of us can buy these products, but just to tell that how the technologies help in these areas. So we have got light combat helicopter. Then you must be aware of the LCA, light combat aircraft, advanced light helicopter ALH. Then the trainer, which is HTT-40, and then we have got a passenger, or we call it a cargo aircraft, the Dornier 228. Now, in the aerospace world, as you have said, that there's a lot of things you must be heard about, the drones and many other things. So the technology landscape is completely changing. So basically, I call them the 7 major new technologies coming in the area of aerospace, and I say them mad cash. Like, say, for example, M, which stands for multi-domain operation. So many of you must have heard about the theater command. So wherein sitting at one place, you can operate a missile either in a ship or in a aircraft or in a tank. So this is a one single unified theater command. So that is multi-domain operation. Then autonomous vehicles, these drones or the pilotless cars and things like that. So all autonomous technologies. Then D stands for the directed energy. So this is something, a very powerful laser which can have a very precision attack, or very disabling certain thing through a very precision power of the laser. And then there is a artificial intelligence which is used in multiple things. I will come to that a little bit later. And then there is also smart materials and the cyber security. So these are basically the things, because when we use the autonomous vehicles, you can appreciate that the data link, because it is done remotely. So the data link is a very, very I would say vulnerable thing, and then this can lead to the other way around to us. And then using these things in the IT perspective, these are the end usage. In the IT perspective, we call normally dark. In our company, we call 4 technologies which enable this multiple operations. So first is the D, that is the distributed ledgers, which is the blockchain. And that is used for the purpose of, as you know, that aerospace has a very complex supply chain. Somebody will provide a chip, then in the chip, somebody will lead a software. And since there is a it's a defense thing, so there has to be a friendly country, foe country, somebody can plant some mischievous things. So that is where actually, that entire supply chain is very, very important. So that is where we have the blockchain for the purpose of that. Then we have got artificial intelligence for multiple applications. So whether it is a testing application, we want to see that automatically the camera judging that all the sealant has been applied, or that all the bolts have been correctly put, or the riveting has been done correctly. So all the inspection related things. And then again, like say, I would like to mention one interesting thing. All the people will be interested that recently we have heard about the crash of the general CDS helicopter. So wherein what happens that if the weather is bad, the pilot is not able to see through the radar or visually that how is the terrain. So what is the height of the terrain and things like that. So nowadays, actually using the artificial intelligence, what we do, we take a topographic map in our aircraft, and the terrain in which you are going, you can load the topographic map of that area. Just like you have the Map My India kind of thing. So there are 3D maps, topographic maps, which can be loaded, and that is superimposed on top of your actual altitude where you are flying. So it looks like that it is a real where you are flying. You can get to know that view. So that synthetic vision can be created using that. That is one of the good application of artificial intelligence, apart from hundreds others. Then the R is what I say, the AR/VR technology. So AR/VR technology nowadays, what is happening that the entire aircraft is first made in AR/VR environment, and you experience it and you fly it in an artificial AR environment. And then only the customer says that, yes, we will go for this type of model. So for 6th generation fighter aircrafts, the US and DARPA is undertaking the similar approach. And then Q is the quantum computing, and that is important in view of the emerging cybersecurity threats, where with the quantum computing, you can have within the seconds, within the milliseconds, you can break the cybersecurity security in the link, etc. So we should have the counter of that particular thing. So these are the major technology which are leading innovations all across the world in the aerospace sector, including in our organization. So this is from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Agrawalji. I think this is a very different perspective, and I'm sure a lot of insights which you have shared are probably new for many of us.
In fact, actually, this the normal, the ERP related, or the data analytics and the CAD CAM and PLM related aspects. Those things are the usually we all are doing in terms of dashboarding and things like that. But I thought that I have shared this because this may be a different insight.
No, certainly, sir. I think the use of blockchain for solving the problem of complex supply chain. I think this is something which is, as you have shared, is already in use, and similarly for inspection, safety, and security aspects of various equipment manufacturing, inspection related aspects are being taken care of. I think those are some unique insights. I'm sure those would be helpful for the audience in a large run. And at the same time, I believe such technologies which are being used are not only helping realizing the broader objective of the organization, but I think in a way is helping in improving the safety and security posture of the country's defense mechanism itself. So with this, I would like to once again thank you for this experiential insights, and I would like to invite Sri Sudesh VC, who is the Group General Manager of IT in IRCTC Limited, to share his point of view on and certain experiential insights from his own organization, or maybe his own point of views. Over to you, Sudesh.
Good afternoon, everybody. IRCTC is the ticketing and tourism catering arm of Indian Railways. So we have done a commendable job to begin with in the early 2000 and this decade also, for shifting a large crowd from the railway reservation counters, and they can access the ticketing sitting at the comfort of their home or office. And now you have mobile app and all the other facilities also. So regarding the initiatives with respect to artificial intelligence and ML, we have we are in partnership with the innovative solutions we have from the private sector. Like we have a reCAPTCHA, which is an invisible CAPTCHA when you book the ticket, where it can find out whether somebody is a genuine user or somebody who is using some software tool or some other machine interface to book one of the tickets. That is using on a continuous basis ML algorithms to log off suspected cases. And you have the chatbot. We have recently started chatbot now. Presently, it is used for dissemination of information. It is in an evolving stage. We have to further streamline it. And the next step is to enable ticketing also through chatbots, so that we need not go through the difficult process of entering things and all. By speaking out, you can ultimately get into the ticketing system. So this is in the pipeline. And we have it is basically for empowering the customer. We have a QR based in the ticket. You can see the QR link where you can scan and see the details of the ticket, whether is there any transfer of ticket, some unauthorized person is traveling. And it is easy for the TTs also. Without contact, they can check the ticket. Similarly, we have QR based monitoring of the food being offered. There is a QR scan attached to the food packet where you can scan and get the details of the food, how it is, where it is sourced from and all. So this way, the citizens will be empowered. Now, the way ahead, we need to go to the multilingual phase. Now, predominantly it is English and Hindi based system. So railway being the primary lifeline transportation system of a common man by and large. So we need to go to the multilingual interface. That is the one we are working on. And we have certain pain points like payment drop cases. Some of you might have experienced. So those things we are planning whether we can address it through blockchain technology in association with the banks. We can have reconciliation of payment. If the ticket is not issued, can we have a real-time refund system? That is something we are exploring. And there is one more thing we are exploring is that IRCTC is presently looking only the reservation sector where we could make some impact. The unreserved sector is largely untouched. Railway has its own system, but that is not been popularized because of certain issues in user interface. So we were planning to offer a solution based on blockchain, where we will be in collaboration with different business partners, where the blockchain nodes can be operated by private players also, and then roping in their innovation. What we intend to do is to generate an ecosystem where private players can also add value, and it will be an easy interface for the customers. And ticketing and as well as ticket checking can be inbuilt in it. So we are working on those systems now. So these are the things we are doing and we are going to do in the near future. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you, Sudesh ji, for sharing these aspects. In fact, another use case which you shared, which is being explored for, in fact, using the blockchain technology. And I think one good thing which probably is has come out of this, knowledge sharing from your side is that how value addition can be created by involving the private players through using innovative ways. I think that's a really good insight which probably has been there. Now, as a next speaker, we have Shri Ajay Gupta ji, who is the Group General Manager IT of Dedicated Freight Corridor Corporation of India Limited. So Ajay ji, I request you to share your views, specifically if you can also highlight certain challenges which you as a leader of various initiatives are facing as far as alignment with the a long-term vision which has been set for this organization. Over to you, Ajay ji.
Sure.
Thanks a lot. First of all, I would like to congratulate Governance Now, who is organizing such a beautiful summit. Really, it's a great organization. It's a great thing. We are bringing all the PSUs who are vibrant, who are doing the great things on single platform so that they can share the information, they can share the best practices and their success story. Before moving to IT, I would just like to mention what the DFCCL is doing. Dedicated freight corridor. It is constructing 2 corridors. Out of 4 quadrilaterals wing, we are constructing 2 arms, eastern and western. That will be a separate line for the freight. There will be many advantages that it will remove the congestion on the passenger track. It will allow the main lines to maintain the things. And besides this, will increase the speed. My average speed on the Indian Railway is only 29 km per hour. Now it will go to 75 km per hour. Just see. Second thing is that we would like to carry more tonnage. In the Western corridor, we can haul the double containers. We can haul the longer train, maybe around 1.5 kilometer long trains. So these are the salient features which says that, in fact, entire India, Honorable Prime Minister, Finance Minister, or the Railways is looking at DFCCL to get it commissioned so that it can be a game changer. It will be a game changer for the logistic cost. It will reduce the logistic cost, it will improve, it will be a faster means of transportation. We have started one more innovative idea. It's not innovative, it's not a new thing. The Konkan Railway was already doing, where we are carrying the truck on our train. Truck on train. In that, from that Palanpur area to Rewari, we are carrying the truck in 10 hours time. Usually when they travel by road, it used to take around 20-22 hours. So with the same cost, with the less time, with the less fatigue, with the less congestion on the road, with environment friendly, we are carrying the people through the road, through the rail. So I would like to say DFC is a great organization. Organization is working with a lean manpower. It's only 1,900 employees. Organization cannot run with these lean manpower until unless IT is supporting. IT is one of the enablers. IT is assisting at every step. We have implemented SAP. That's the ERP system which are integrating most of my business processes. Finance, HR, materials management, project system, they are integrated, and we are processing our system through SAP system. Second thing is that we have developed so many application, dashboard, and other things on the .NET platform, which is providing some kind of an alert, insight, where we can take some kind of a decision making. It supports us the decision making. Time has come where the data should be used for data driven decision making. The governance should be e-governance kind of thing. So these are complementary to each other. They pick the data and integrate with my system. Now the next thing is that we have cybersecurity arm also. That's again a very important thing, because until unless we have a secure system, we won't be able to move the things. So these are the few things working fine, integrating the things, but this is not sufficient. What is required more is that, have we reached to the self-actualization stage? Is my IT system providing the solution for me or triggering me to predict the future? Can we say, so whatever decision we are taking, that is based on the data? So we are working on that particular thing. We have integrated the Power BI also to give the dashboard, to integrate the data from the different silos, different databases there. I'm capturing a lot of data from the field. Operational data is there, whatever Excel load, Excel counter is there. Those things, that data feed is coming. And we use it for the predictability kind of thing. Can we find out how my train is moving? Now we have a maintenance module. It's a mobile based application. It captures the details. Suppose catenary wire is there, it is sagging. I should be able to tell with the predictable model when it is going to fail. So IT is helping us to enable, to move, to automate. These are our main motive. These are the things we are doing, implementing, and it has been appreciated by all the level, and we are working very hard to move further. This is the thing we want to say. Over to Ashish.
Yeah, thank you, Gupta ji. I think one very important thing which I could grasp from this is that speed is the key, and I think we work towards improving the speed, be it the speed of goods transportation, be it the speed of communication, be it with the speed of any other aspect. And I think that is where various organizations are adopting and targeting as part of their own future roadmaps as well. And different use cases are being spoken about, which are helping you realizing that. And as and when adoption of these things are increasing, it is actually creating much more complex environment, and the times ahead are going to be posing more complex challenges as far as different diverse technologies would actually need to be interacting with each other. So obviously there would be some good questions. In fact, you have posed. In fact, I think which are certainly good questions to brainstorm later on, and can be thought through. With this, now we have on the panel Shri Chandrakishore Prasad ji, who is the Senior Professor and Head of IT at IRI SET. I request you, sir, to please share your views as how this new technologies are being thought through for capacity building as well as addressing various challenges which your organization might be facing.
Thank you, Ashish. Yeah. So thank you, Ashish, and it's a pleasure being part of this esteemed panel. Definitely all these technologies, what we have been discussing for taking the PSEs to the next level, requires a very robust and resilient and secure infrastructure. And when I talk about the infrastructure, means IT infrastructure. And here the cloud is extremely important, because if really we have to do scale up our operations or the digital transformation initiatives, we should have a resilient and a scalable architecture for which can support our all these deployments, technological deployments. Definitely in PSUs, we find that one is the roadmap has to be clearly defined. Initially, prior to COVID, the things were going at zone pace, and COVID accelerated the entire process of digital transformation. People wanted to started actively looking into that, and started doing investment in that direction. So that is a welcome thing which is happening. But still on the PSUs and government front, we see that each of these organizations are having their own data silos. And if they start opening up using their own the various silos and start working on data policy and monetizing data, that will really help. Coming to IRISET, IRISET is a centralized training institute, and it specializes in signal and telecom technology. And we have centers across India, which is we are connecting through blended learning. We provide, in fact, our approach during the COVID time was earlier we were able to Let us, to give an example, we were doing around 60 to 70,000 training days. We were providing trainees across Indian railway system, apart from the railway PSUs and also from industry like NTPC. We also used to get trainees from Sri Lanka, the SAARC countries like Bhutan, Sri Lanka, and all other countries. But this year, because of blended learning and using learning management as a service, LMS, we were able to train more than 1 lakh trainees day. Actually, we could provide for various courses, the plethora of courses what we impart. And that too, still we have another 3 months to go for this financial year. We have started working on doing POCs for IoT, for predictive maintenance. We have done for railway signaling systems at some of the locations in station in Hyderabad. And this POC we started doing it on the cloud, Rail Cloud, which is provided by RailTel. We are, our applications are again, we are using multi-cloud approach for our applications. So certain cloud, certain applications or workloads are on our own infrastructure, on-prem, certain are on a government community cloud, and certain is on the public cloud. And there basically we are working on how to manage the entire stuff, trying to build a layer of orchestration to manage all these workloads seamlessly. Definitely on coming to the, one of the important challenges is training the manpower, because the way the technology is changing, the philosophy of, we adopt the philosophy of run, something like reskilling, upskilling, and a new skill. So RUNN. So these are extremely important because today we find a lot of gaps in the industry. If you are looking for a security professional, security analyst, it's very difficult to get basically resource, trained resource from the market. And that too, if you get people, retaining them is again a challenge. So going forward, we are working on these aspects where we can improve the customer experience. We can improve the productivity, efficiency of the people who are working. Definitely upskill our workforce so that they can take up all these new plans, the roadmap, and follow through and implement it in a better way.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Prasad. And I think one aspect again from this conversation has come out towards how increased capacities can be built by leveraging various technologies like learning management system and all, wherein as you have mentioned, your organization was able to achieve more than 50% growth in terms of the number of trainees which you have, number of training days which were given last year in comparison to that now. I think that is something which is a clear example of how such technologies or platforms are enabling growth for the organization, and in fact creating a larger impact, in fact. So thank you once again, Mr. Prasad. Now I would like to request Mr. Mustafa Loni from Uptime Institute. In fact, we have heard you, Mr. Mustafa, in the previous session, wherein you have spoken about various standards, certifications for the IT infrastructure, data centers, and all that. And now, in the era of emerging technologies, wherein the technology life cycle is changing at a very fast pace. And in fact, such technologies are also happening at a highly diversified manner. What's your view on the various standards and the I would say processes and policies which any organization needs to look into, so that they align themselves with the pace of such kind of continuous changes? Any views on that standard and design and standardization perspective? I think that would be really great.
Sure, Ashish. Thank you, first of all, for moderating the panel, and thanks for all the fellow panelists for being here today. Yeah, so before, I think when we start talking about, definitely, I think it's been mentioned that having resilient infrastructure and highly available infrastructure, well operated, it is very important that we have such infrastructure to support this emerging technologies. Or when we talk today about emerging technologies, there are so many emerging technologies, but in general, I would like to put it myself is at the end of the day, all of these technologies will trigger what we call a digital transformation across all of these organizations today. So when we talk about the benefits of all the digital and these emerging technologies or a digital transformation within the organizations, there are so many benefits that try to mention few just to contribute to the discussion today. And I won't go into discussion about artificial intelligence or machine learning. I'm sure there are a lot of use cases that will be mentioned by the fellow panelists and how they could have they've used these technologies in their respective organizations to help them improve or adjust or something like that. So from our perspective, when we look at the emerging technologies, how this can bring benefits to the organizations in general, one point is definitely, we mentioned, using emerging technologies like artificial intelligence or machine learning. So will definitely improve the way the infrastructure is being operated and managed, and definitely will lead to better resiliency and less outages and all of that. And we are seeing already a lot of organizations moving into automation, machine learning in data center operations and physical infrastructure operation in general. The other point, definitely improve energy efficiency. So when we start talking today, everybody talks about sustainability, clean energy, renewable energy, and all of that. I mean, using those emerging technologies, when we talk about especially artificial intelligence and machine learning, again, this is something that will help organizations improve their energy efficiency, the way they report, the way they set operation conditions, and in general, how they can use these technologies to improve that. Other one is operations efficiency gains. So this is one of the big actually benefits that each organization focuses on today when they adopt these technologies or they move through to a digital transformation. So how to improve processes and workflows, and how to actually continuously improve using this kind of technologies. So there are a lot of use cases we can talk about this. So when you implement such technologies, definitely all what you've been using there as a process, as a workflows, will be streamlined, and it changes the way the organization operates. And all this suddenly takes a shorter time to do. And this is where such actually technologies will bring and have an impact on the operation efficiency on this organization. The other one, as we mentioned as well, is increased operation transparency. When you start looking into one of the biggest, actually this is underrated, when you start looking in using these emerging technologies in improving or increasing the transparency on the operation of organizations. So it gives you more visibility on making decisions, and actually when you don't have to wait for somebody to give you a report. You don't have to, your accounting, to generate like paper or Excel sheets or coordinate with several departments to make a decision. So this kind of technology brings that kind of visibility to allows to organizations to act faster, quickly, respond to all these challenges they are facing. So they save time, they save cost into this. So we lead us to the next one, which is the cost saving. So when you start adopting this kind of technologies, definitely one of the impact is the cost saving. Yes, sometimes it is costly to implement these technologies, but if you plan it and get it right in the beginning, definitely it will lead into that. It reduces you don't hire people if you don't need them. You get visibility on how you use this. Right. The organization today that deal with inventory, for example, or supply chain. So it's a lot of things into this. So our organization that deals with sales, that can use all of their CRM systems to improve the way they do sales, to improve the way they do this, to increase the growth. The other one is customer experience. We talked about, gentlemen talking about improving the experience of the clients, of their customers when they travel from region to region. Definitely those technologies will improve that. The employees experience itself. So today, everybody is struggling retaining or training or improving the experience of their employees within the organizations. Such technologies definitely will help human capital management. These people will be trained more, will be actually put in an environment where their work becomes easy, and therefore the people will stick more to the organization. You have retention will be much higher. Improve flexibility as well when you adopt the new technologies. We've seen, especially with the supply chain, we're talking with organizations, they say, we are facing a lot of cost increase, we're facing delays in product, we're facing so many issues because they haven't adopted technologies, all this, to improve their flexibility or actually improve the effectiveness of their supply chain management. So this leads always to the organization that was successful in doing this definitely will go there, and this at the end will lead to improving their operating model and increase the competitiveness of the organizations in general. So look what those emerging technologies will bring as a benefits to the business, and those the benefits that we're looking for. And the last thing I would like to say as a conclusion is that adopting technologies is always attractive and is always exciting, and also always brings a lot of discussions with organizations. But before going through such transformation, you need to, my advice is that define your business goals, objectives, how you will, this transformation will support you, and how you envision all of this change. So how is going to be your business model within the organization? How do you want to improve the future? And then go find the technologies that will enable this, rather than just, because there is also what we call forced transformation, because sometimes you get pushed or by suppliers, by cloud providers. So this is the advice I think we give, is that all to benefit from that, define your objectives, then move on to that. So from our side, there's uptime. We contribute to build resilient and highly available infrastructure to support all of this.
Thanks, Mustafa. I think it's a very different, I would say, insight. And of course, the overall goal of adoption of various technologies towards improving the operational efficiencies, performances, and cost effectiveness. And there are so many tangible benefits which can be leveraged. And we have in fact heard about so many use cases which our esteemed panelists have shared in terms of how such things are in fact not only helping in improving the overall operational efficiencies, but also those are futuristic in nature, so that they remain aligned with the growth of the organization. Now, incidentally, we don't have much time to left with us, so I would like to summarize this with in fact sharing 2-3 pointers which I believe the audience would have got as part of this conversation, is that of course the speed is the key, and we are working in a world wherein a lot of changes which takes place with the use of several technologies, and of course evaluation of various technologies for alignment of their use cases with the vision of the organization is very important. And with various use cases and experimentation and understanding and studying various use cases from such organizations, I think many different organizations can take and learn a lot, and a lot can be done. And with this, thank you very much once again to the organizers and all our esteemed panelists for joining this session. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Ashish. And thank you all the esteemed panelists.